Hey, what's going on? My name is Rozalia. Welcome to Psychic Therapy for the Soul. Here with another timeless tarot reading. So this reading is about what's coming next in love. So what's coming next in love? So this is a timeless reading. If it resonates, wonderful. Take it for yourself and use it to guide your day. And if it does not resonate, do not try to put it into your story. Just simply share it with someone that you feel it will resonate with. So these timeless tarot readings, they come at you at the right time. If it hits you with a bang in the title, maybe it's for you, and enjoy the ride. All right, so what's coming with you? What's coming next in love? And I will be using first the Work Your Light Oracle cards to see the theme, and then I will pull 3 cards from the Wild Reflection Tarot deck. All right, so what's coming next in love? What's coming next in love? So this is for anyone, anybody, very general, very collective. What's coming next in love? Wait, postpone, pause, say no. Wow. This is really intense, honestly. I haven't used this deck yet, so I'm kind of inspired myself right now. So I get this feeling of setting boundaries. There's a huge requirement here to set boundaries, to stand firm in what you believe in, stand firm in how you see your worth in relationships, how you see your value. Are you being appreciated? Are you being understood? Are you being seen? And there's this requirement here to say no. I feel like this is kind of giving me that vibe where, you know, like when we're in a relationship, let's say, and, you know, someone always ends up being more of the giver than the taker. And what I mean by that is when you're in love, or even just in friendships or family dynamics, when you care about somebody, you want to give to them, you want to support them, you want to love them. And sometimes you give a lot more of yourself than necessary. And what happens when you continue to do that is that that person gets used to that kind of person that you are. They get used to that characteristic, or they get used to that personality, they get used to that position that you put yourself through, and as a result they expect that from you all the time. So there becomes this kind of lack of awareness on that other individual's side of things, that they might be taking a lot more from you. So they could be taking your kindness for weakness, or they could just be taking your kindness for granted or advantage of it. And I feel like in this case, you've finally seen the light, in the sense where you may have said, hey, I don't like that you are doing this. I don't like your behavior. I don't like how you speak to me. I don't appreciate this. There's an energy here of, I feel like I've been giving too much. It's time to say no. I can't do this anymore. I have to take care of me. So there's this kind of self-love element here. And you're being asked to wait. So maybe there was some kind of argument, because there's just like thunder and lightning here in the background. And I see that very much of like energies clashing, like and you got this like big triangle here in the background. And the triangle upwards for me symbolizes the upper chakras, so the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So you're being incredibly aligned with the way that you connect with your own heart space, and as a result, how you connect with others. And you're intuitively guided to do what's best for you on a soul level, on a soul alignment level. It's kind of like, if you respect yourself, so how do you respect yourself? That's how you also expect to be respected, and it's also how you respect others. So if you're not getting that kind of respect, the way that you respect yourself, there's a disalignment or a disconnection, or there's lack of harmony in the relationship. And as a result, you feel that in your upper chakras, okay? So in this case, I feel like there's kind of like a staircase here to climb, or you've been climbing that staircase, and you're being encouraged here to kind of wait. Don't rush. Say no. Another element of that, I feel like, if you're not relating to another partnership, okay, if you're not relating to another person, but you're just relating to yourself, okay, you've had some kind of major realization in your own belief system, in your own values, in your own unconscious behaviors and conditionings, okay, in how you used to relate to relationships and how you used to connect to yourself. And you suddenly realize, wow, I haven't been allowing myself to be loved the way I need to be loved. I haven't been allowing myself to be supported the way that I need to be supported. I haven't been standing firm on my standards and what I feel I deserve in love. And there's kind of that realization, like, I think it's time for me to love myself the way that I need to, and postpone any date or wait until the right person comes along that meets the alignment of my upper chakras. Saying no to what does not serve you, or what's not quite there yet. And that's kind of what I'm feeling from that. So that's really powerful. Okay. So now let's pull 3 cards from the Wild Reflection Tarot. All right, let's see what comes up. So what's coming next in love? What's coming next in love? You got the Temperance. You guys are gonna love this when I show it to you. The 8 of Swords. And the Lovers. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to show you first the Temperance because it's so aligned with the Oracle card. Okay, you can see here how both these cards have the thunder, the lightning clashing. And what's really interesting about this is that it's almost like you're being forced to look at any aspect of yourself in which is negative. Because this Temperance here, this man is facing his shadow and his light. Okay, his negative pessimism and his positivity and optimism. And he's learning to balance between the two. But what I really like about this Temperance card is that this man is learning to embody both his happiness and his positivity when it comes along. So just really embodying that energy. And also the negativity and the pessimism and the anger and the shadow when it comes along. So he understands that you require moderation. You can't just live full time in your shadow and your darkness because you're going to start to self-destruct. But you can't fully always live in happiness and joy and optimism because then you will actually start to take it for granted and become bored. So there's this need to find balance in order for you to be able to elevate in a kind of slow, majestic kind of way. Like it's the only way to kind of fly with your angel wings up into the air, into the heavens, while you experience both perspectives. So this is kind of what I'm getting here, is that like you're learning to be patient with your shadow element, your light element, when you're feeling negative, when you're feeling positive, and allowing yourself to embody both of those energies. Temperance is all about moderation, so it's about living in moderation. So perhaps like the way that you express your shadow is like blowing off steam and getting drunk for one night. Do you? If that's the way you express your shadow, go for it. And then perhaps when you express your light, you're super healthy, eating organic, and you're going to the gym, okay? So there is this kind of need for moderation in order to understand yourself better. Temperance is also about gratitude. That's what's kind of coming to me. Gratitude, about being grateful for what you have. Like, if you don't understand this negative part of yourself, so the thunder, the lightning, the clashing, the darkness, the anger, the fear, all of those things that kind of put you in a low state of mind or a low dimensional belief. If you don't understand what it is to suffer, because temperance is here, this man here is suffering on this side. If you don't know what it is to suffer, then you don't know how, you won't be able to know how to be grateful for those good things that bring you joy in life. So this is kind of like taking your time to see the bigger picture in life, taking your time to be able to recognize where you may have been self-destructing, and then seeing the good things that you have in your life and changing your perspective. Especially if you have been overthinking a lot of thoughts and criticisms and judgments and beliefs and ideals in your mind. So the Eight of Swords, this is a woman who has lost her faith, okay? She has all the freedom here, you know, dressed in pink, her crown chakra is open. She has all the freedom here to stand up and look around her and see that everything is clear, and she can move forward. She can get off this rock that she feels trapped on and swim, okay, swim away. However, instead she's looking down into the deep watery realm where her feminine energy is, where her subconscious is, and she's wrapping herself up in this web, okay, in this web of arrows, unable to get out. She feels trapped, she can't see, she's overthinking every single step, every single kind of negative fear that comes up in her environment, and she feels like she can't get out. So this is a person that feels trapped, but there's also an energy here of you can free yourself once you look up and open up your mind and see that there are other unlimited possibilities for you to get out, but you just have to take a chance. I typically look at the Eight of Swords like a person who's been living in this negative kind of thunder reality for a very long time. So you know that saying, when it rains it pours? So it's kind of like you've been living in this negative state of mind for a very long time, okay? And as a result, all of your fears kind of blend into this dark kind of sphere of kind of shadowy energy, okay? And it's hard for you to get out. It feels like you've kind of inflicted yourself in your own self-made prison. And it's a form of protection. So usually individuals who overthink like this or trap themselves kind of in that imprisonment of like, well, if I take that next step, you know, what if I die? It's kind of a dramatic kind of fear, but it's always this energy of death, like a fear of letting go, a fear of not being able to do it on your own, a fear of not having enough, a fear of never having love again, a fear of never being able to manifest your dreams. Because the Eight of Swords is like, I'm stuck here because someone here promised me that this would be okay, and suddenly it's not, and I don't know how to get out. What if I try to get out and this and this and that happens to me? So there's this kind of obsessive compulsive thinking and fears that kind of compensate the mind and keeps you still and trapped in this bubble of negativity, of fear. And all you have to do is change your perspective and look at the bright side of things in order to free yourself and manifest the choice of the lovers. So the freedom in the heart that allows you to choose what's best for your heart space. The Lovers is my freedom card. It's actually the opposite of the Devil, which is typically your bondage, where you're bonded to a situation or trapped in a situation due to fear of leaving, fear of leaving the Devil. Because the Devil promises you, the Devil promises you riches and the heavens and all of those things, but very quickly. While the Lovers allows you to trust your own divine energy, so your upper four chakras, in order to find alignment and find freedom to be able to go after the things that you love in a more kind of spiritual and emotional way, in a heart kind of space way. The Lovers for me is also unconditional love, okay? It's not just unconditional love for another, but it's unconditional love for yourself. It's when you fall in love with freedom. There's nothing entrapping you in a connection, in a relationship. I want to be able to explain this in a better way. Okay? I want to be able to explain this in a better way. So, when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's easy to get tied up and entangled with another to a point where everything in your life becomes about them and everything in their life becomes about you, where you start to lose yourselves to the relationship. After some time, there can become conditional thinking between the other, where I need this person in order to survive, okay? I need this person in order to survive. And so you start to project your fears onto this individual and vice versa. As a result, there's no more freedom in your relationship. The unconditional aspect of why you fell in love in the first place, which was incredibly independent and authentic and beautiful, it starts to become dark and entrapped. So the Lovers is being able to love somebody unconditionally, without other conditions involved, where, like, for example, your belief systems, even if they're different, you still love that person. You're independent enough to have faith, to love, and also being able to kind of leave when you need to. It's not that you're leaving out of lack of loyalty or anything like that, but there is this essence of freedom where that your person doesn't make you feel trapped or forced, or that you're there because you're afraid that if you leave, you'll lose some aspect of yourself, or you'll lose capability in some element in your life. So in this case, it feels like you're learning to love freely and unconditionally, not just others, not just giving that space for another person to be able to come to terms with that, but also for yourself. Like, setting boundaries and saying no is the Lover's energy, where you're saying, hey, I need to feel free in this connection. I need to feel free in my own life, where I don't feel limited. I don't feel limited by your fears, and I don't feel limited by my fears, and I feel safe to communicate, and I feel safe to be heard, and I feel safe to follow my dreams, and I feel safe and supported financially and securely because I've been able to give it to myself, or there's no kind of power dynamic between both parties. There's no victim exchange between both parties. So there's this kind of element of just unconditional love without any expectations that I need you to do this for me, or these are the kind of conditions that I need met in order for this relationship to work. I hope I explained that properly, because that's actually something that I have been learning for a very long time, since I was younger, was loving freely, wildly, unconditionally, without feeling or being afraid that the relationship will trap me, or without being in a relationship that feels entrapping, and learning to be able to be fully independent in that relationship. So, like, your happiness is not dependent on another person. Your happiness is dependent on yourself. And as a result, you love yourself that much unconditionally, you fall in love with yourself that much unconditionally, that you're capable of giving that to another, and as a result also receiving it. And as a result, it becomes this kind of harmonious union. So the Lovers is about choice, having that capability to choose from the heart. All right, that's it, and I hope you enjoy that. Bye.